So one of the absolute key skills to have for efficient, effective, sustainable walking is the ability to hold your body weight up with the lateral hip muscles, the outside butt muscles of your hip. This is really important because, first of all, holding yourself in this way allows your one free leg to swing through without you having to make compensations, for example, by bending your knee. It also means that you aren't swaying your hips wildly side to side when you walk. It stabilizes your pelvis. And that means you get more forward motion out of your walking. It's more efficient. You're wasting less energy and creating fewer wonky loads to your body by being more straight ahead. Finally, the control of your hip muscles is also what allows you to heel strike smoothly and to control your landing without creating as much shock as if you don't have strength through these muscles. So these muscles that lift your pelvis up to lift your free leg are the same muscles that lift your leg out to the side. It's just that when you're lifting your leg to the side, your foot is already hanging up off the ground. If your foot is stuck to the ground, those same muscles pull that same side of your pelvis down and make your free leg hang in the air. So one of the best ways to get to know these muscles is with a leg lift, but there's a few tweaks to the leg lift that most people get wrong. So if you want to make your leg lift effective and start to get to know these really important muscles, you should take a look at these tips. So let's come down to the floor. It's nice to be near a wall for this because the wall is going to give you a target. So first of all, you're going to line yourself up pretty close to the wall. Your feet could be like, I don't know, a centimeter away from the wall or touching the baseboards but not touching the wall itself. By all means, use something for your head. I like a yoga block for this. So tip number one is that as we lie on the ground, what usually happens is we sink our waist down so that we're kind of resting totally supported by the ground. That's not wrong, but it's not going to help your leg lift. So what you need to do is take your top leg, reach it away from you, and let that reach pick your waist up. So you've got some room underneath your waist. Your torso becomes much more like it is when it's standing than like a banana that's being held up by the floor. So you got that reach. That makes your pelvis fairly neutral and square. So that's step one. Step number two is to keep thinking about that reach. Really press through your heel, maybe even touch the wall with your heel. That's going to start engaging these side hip muscles. So step one is reach. Step two is reach more. And step three is learning to move only at the hip joint. The hip joint is lower than the place where you put your hands if you're going to yell at somebody. So it's kind of closer to where your leg meets your pelvis. As you're doing your leg lifts, the best way to know if you're moving from your hip and not from your waist is to watch what's happening at your waist. So if I make a really big leg lift, you can see my waist has changed. I'm now contacting the ground with the free side of my waist. I probably have some wrinkles in my shirt. I have used my waist and spine to lift my leg instead of my hip muscles. So what you're looking to do is to keep this part of your body totally still and stable, no wrinkles in your shirt, and to let the movement come from this lower part of your body where your leg meets your pelvis. And if you are starting to get a burn in your side butt, that means you are doing these leg lifts the right way. So 20 is usually plenty of these if you're doing them right. You'll really feel it. Let's flip over and try the other side. So you can stay next to the wall because the wall is really good to have as a target. Learning that sense of reaching is really going to help you learn to use your lateral hip muscles really well. On this side, just as another tip, you can certainly bend your bottom knee. That will help you balance. You can also use your hand on the ground to help yourself balance without rolling over. And do make sure you're not rolling forward or back with your pelvis here too. You want everything to be stacked. So step number one is set yourself up by reaching your leg away, stacking your pelvis, and finding whatever balance point you need. Step number two is reach your leg even further away. That's going to start engaging these lateral hip muscles. Think about your heel reaching into a wall or an imaginary wall. And step number three is work on moving only at the hip by making sure you're not accidentally going into your waist out of an excess of enthusiasm. So one thing you can try doing is to deliberately do a really big lift, feel what happens at your waist, notice what happens at your waist when you're going a bit too far, and then make it smaller. So you're reaching, you're making a smaller move, and that's going to help you isolate the movement to your lateral hip, which is what we want because it's these muscles that we often have a hard time accessing and that are super important. So, waists are great, but they're not going to necessarily help you walk the way that your side butt muscles will. And these leg lifts are a really good foundational first step in getting these side butt muscles, these lateral hip muscles online. So I hope this was useful for you. If you want to take this to the next step, I've got loads of tips on hips and walking in my Build Better Feet program. You can find all the information in the caption, and I hope you decide to join us there because it's an awesome program. Cheers.